Hey guys, welcome to this new video. Today I have a new invited on my channel. I invited Paul, who is a coffee lover and who has his own coffee brand in Vietnam. And we're gonna discuss about your entrepreneurship journey and launching this brand in Vietnam. I'm happy to have you here. Can you start by introducing yourself and how did you get involved with the coffee in Vietnam?
Right. Hey guys, my name is Paul from Bo Lac, and Bo Lac means tribe in Vietnamese. It's the name of my coffee brand. Tribe, I chose the word because coffee is community. So coffee brings people together, right? It's been like everywhere in the coffee shops. You can see people meet on the weekends or they sit there with their families having a good time, and it kind of takes you out of the daily craziness of your work life, of the stressful aspects of life. And you go to the coffee shop to have a good time, get together and just to enjoy. And this is what also brought me into coffee at first, is when I came back to Vietnam. So I was already living for 2-3 years in Vietnam, working here. And I came back from a visit in Germany, and I was supposed to start a new job here in Saigon. I was supposed to start as a project manager for a German startup company, not related to coffee at all, right? I was not working with coffee yet. And then just in the last minute, basically, it was a few days before I came back to Saigon, they rejected the job offer. So they found someone else or whatever it was. But suddenly I was standing there with nothing, right? I came back and I was really lost because I was looking forward for the new job opportunity. It was suddenly gone, and I was thinking what to do next. So I went to my favorite coffee shop, and I was sitting there with my laptop, researching for hours, like studying something, new job offers in Saigon, and I just couldn't figure out what I'm gonna do next. And after 2 or 3 hours, I just shut my laptop. I was sitting there with my coffee. I was looking around, see the baristas like doing pour-overs, making espressos, and it was just such a chill atmosphere, like really, really nice. It's a small coffee shop in an alleyway, very green, very quiet. And I was thinking, like, this is so nice, this is so nice. I wish I could do that, like even the work seemed to be not stressful. It seemed to be very calm and very fun. And I was like, yeah, if I could do that, I would be so happy. And then I was thinking for another minute, and I was like, of course, you could do that, right? Totally. And that day, that moment, I decided, okay, I want to do something related to coffee. And barista was not my first choice. I like the technical aspect also of things and of work. So I decided to become a roaster. And I did my roasting class in Saigon, and that's kind of how I started getting into coffee.
Okay, so the first insight you get from coffee come from this like a little bit curious mind, and as well as trying to find something meaningful for you, right?
Totally.
You also share me your story of taking your motorbike, going across Vietnam, and meeting that tribe that finally ended up being your main coffee brand, right?
Exactly.
The coffee you are roasting. Can you share with us this journey and discovering this tribe, getting familiar and maybe even friends with the community, and trying to help them somehow to spread their coffee?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very, very good point. Also, tribe the name comes from our coffee. The coffee that I'm working with is mainly grown by local tribal communities in the highlands of Vietnam. That's why Bo Lac. And so basically after that day deciding I want to do something with coffee, I decided to do the roasting class with Quest. It's a coffee education company here in Saigon, and they do roasting courses. So I did that class, and then I was able to roast coffee, but I didn't have any coffee, right? So I need to find green coffee to put into my roast machine. And so I decided to go to the highlands, and I have a nice motorbike. I bought like a tracker, a proper motorbike. And so I decided to actually go by bike and just, discover the highlands, get to know the people, see different coffee farms, and find some good quality coffee. So yeah, I took my bike and 2 big bags on the side of the bike, and then I just drove. So I ended up driving through Baulop, which is a very nice place for Robusta coffee, and continued my way to Dalat. And the area of Dalat, a little bit northern, 30 minutes north, is a place called Lang Biang. And Lang Biang has very, very special soil, weather conditions, and special people. So the Kahar minority is that tribe I'm working with, and they are living there in Lang Biang, farming mainly coffee, also like since generations. And it's a very fine quality coffee with flavor notes that I just couldn't find anywhere else, which I figured out after sample roasting different coffees. But yeah, so I made friends there in Lang Biang. I met the people from the Kahar tribe, and they were very welcoming, very warm. I went first to Kahar Cafe. Some people might have heard of it. A lady named Roland, she's very nice, and she welcomed me on her farm, and she showed me around and explained me many things about coffee. And yeah, that made me very curious, and I took the samples back to Saigon, roasted it, came back after many times, and met different producers, and also Zanya Cafe. Zanya is another producer, same tribe, on the other side of the mountain, and they're also very open to share about their product, and I made good friends there, and ever since I'm working with their coffee.
Yeah, so actually this is something that I was curious the first time we met. You mentioned me those names of the locations or even the farms, and usually some coffee roaster, this is something that we keep it for them, right? They don't really want to share.
Yeah.
And this is something that you really want it to be inside your coffee. You want to give credit back to those minorities, to those farmers who work hard, right?
Yeah, totally.
What's the value you want to put inside in your brand?
Yeah. I think that's the key to what I believe is right for my brand, and I think it's also the key to grow the specialty coffee scene, not only in Vietnam but around the world. You know, like being secretive and like trying to keep the sources, it doesn't really help you. If you're the only person buying coffee from your farmer, like if my business doesn't work, then my farmer later cannot sell any coffee, right? So I have the interest that everyone knows about the great coffee from Lang Biang, and I want them to try all the roasters who are roasting the coffee, because they all put their own signature, on the bean basically. But the real work, the essence and the soul of the coffee comes from the farm, right? So it's the farmer putting so much hardship and work into it. So I think it's great if we share that and expose them to a bigger audience basically, and give them the chance to sell more coffee. So I personally, I want to be very close to the people I'm building my brand on, right? I want to understand their backgrounds. I want to understand their struggles, their difficulties maybe, and see how I can help. So in specialty coffee, one very important aspect is direct trade. So I'm not, I could go to here in Saigon to any like local, like an importer, buy coffee from overseas, or even buy the different Vietnamese coffees available, and it's very comfortable. I just go to that shop, they have all types of coffees, I take anything and roast it and sell it. So, but that's not my interest, right? I want to build something sustainable, and that's the same vision for the farmers that I'm working with there. And so by spending time on the farm, spending time with the people, I understand what they are trying to become and where the problems are, right? So basically being there, spending time in the harvest season allows me to really understand the bean and the people. And so basically we're building friendship. We are building a new coffee and maybe a future for coffee together, as we are exposing the people and the product to a bigger audience, as we said.
Yeah, so actually we met at a coffee fair. So there is some event in Saigon if you are into coffee, if you're a coffee lover and coffee enthusiast and you want to learn more. There is plenty of events when you can meet entrepreneurs like Paul. So I really invite you to check the Saigonese scene. You are also right now building your company. So basically, for the last months, you were trying, you were selling maybe to friends, maybe to some resellers, right, to kind of improve your products and see if it works. And now you are kind of being more professional and you are setting up a company. Is it hard for millennials and for coffee enthusiasts to set up a company and to finally being able to distribute in Vietnam?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say Vietnam is one of the best places to start and to try a business concept. It is very easy to just get started with something and try it out. And if it doesn't work, you kind of like readjust before you get really stuck in a, like set up company that maybe doesn't work out and then you have to really change everything. It's going to be a lot of paperwork. You can just start trying things. And so did I with the coffee. I went to the Highlands, I got some coffee, I roasted it, and then I sold it to people. The beautiful thing as well, I didn't have to buy a roast machine at first. Today we're meeting here at Building, a great place that I can recommend to everyone who likes to try out good coffee. They provide roast machines, coffee labs where we're sitting here, machines, espresso machines, grinders. Everything is here. I can just rent it by the hour and just try. And yeah, so basically I was just selling to friends, to, people around to, see how they like the coffee and what can I improve. And now after about a year since I started, I'm at the point where I want to legitimize the whole setup. And there's different ways you can approach it. If you are more like an investor and you want to build like a commercial big company, you have to go through foreign investment, which is quite a lot of money that you have to invest at first. But then you have 100% control over your company, it's in your name. If you are like myself, I'm starting this business living in Vietnam already, right? I'm like half a local by now, I guess, and I have my life based in Vietnam. I'm not coming here for the business opportunity. I love Vietnam, I live here already, and I'm gonna live here for a long time more, I hope. And so it's a bit of a different perspective, and also my business is smaller, I would say. So there's also the opportunity to create a local company to someone you trust, maybe your friend or a lawyer. You could also hire a lawyer. That's what I'm looking into right now. There's different types of lawyers in Saigon that you can talk to, and they help you at first also for free with free advice. And you can open that company through the lawyer as a local entity, which is very cheap and goes very fast. It's just a little bit of paperwork. They sign their name on it. And so basically the company is either in the name of your friend that you can trust, or if you don't want to take that risk, you put it into the lawyer's name, and then you can retransfer the rights onto your own name. So you will have the company 100% in your hands later, but it's much cheaper than starting out as a foreign investment at first.
Actually, you say that you are just setting up your company, but you already export, right? You told me last year you managed to export 4 tons of coffee. This year you plan to export 6 tons, right, to Europe. Can you share also about, is it easy to export overseas, and especially Europe?
Okay, very important here. It's not me exporting the coffee, it's my friend's company in Germany. They are a professional importer working mainly with Peruvian coffee, yet. The name is Cumpa, C-U-M-P-A. And they work as well very sustainable. We are very aligned with the same value system, I would say. And I met Daniel, who is one of the 2 co-founders of Cumpa, last year when he came to Vietnam, and he was visiting the same Roland, who I've mentioned before from Coho Cafe. He came there to visit them and like to try to find new coffees around Vietnam. And just by a random coincidence, we got introduced. And he's German, I'm German, we got along well, and then I took him like on a journey, he rented a bike, and we traveled together for 2 weeks. And I introduced him to my coffee supplier as well. And they got along well, he loved the product, he shipped samples back to Germany, the roasters liked it. And so they imported, so I wasn't involved, I just introduced. But they imported 4 tons of coffee last year, 6 tons of coffee this year, and hopefully in the next coming years, it will, get more and more. And yeah, the great thing is that for me, building that bridge from Vietnam to Germany it's so nice for me, because now I know the same coffee that I'm working with here with the people who I love is as well sold in Germany in the specialty coffee shops, not only in Germany but in Europe, right? And that's so beautiful because now, for example, I could tell my friends and my parents to go to the specialty coffee store, even in my hometown, and they have exactly that coffee that I kind of brought or at least introduced, to Germany, and yeah, that's super nice.
Okay, it's a super good story. Can you share maybe now a few tips for millennials or foreigners who would want to get involved into the coffee business? Mm-hmm. How should I get started?
Mm-hmm. So I would say there's different aspects, different angles that you can take. It depends. I would always say on your passion and your skill. Maybe if you are a very outspoken person and you love to chat with people and you have a passion for coffee as well, you might want to become a barista because you'll be in the storefront and you'll be in direct contact with the customer. You can make some coffee for them, or you can, if you have a talent in more like management or something, you can apply for bigger businesses, right? Like bigger distribution companies and work somewhere in the background, let's say as a sales manager or something like that. Or if you have a passion for maybe machines and for trying to understand the coffee and the chemical aspects of it as well, like how it evolves during roasting and everything, you might want to become a roaster. And if you have a passion for cooking, for example, and that's me now. I love roasting. It's so much fun to work with coffee and work with the product, trying to create it, and that's why I also decided to start as a distribution company. Especially with COVID around, it's maybe not the best time to open a physical business like a coffee shop. So I'm focusing on roasting and distributing freshly roasted coffee for home brewers and for coffee shops, for restaurants who plan to sell coffee or brew coffee in their store. Yeah.
Okay. Good tips, I guess, for you guys to get started and to see if you want to explore the coffee business. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Paul, for this sharing. I will leave in the description different links, different resources. So if you guys want to learn more about coffee in Vietnam, coffee industry, as well as getting the information of Paul, you can check everything in the description.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul, again.
Yeah,
and I see you in the next video.
Yes, sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I'ma get it right, dead on sight like